Good afternoon, my friends. What a beautiful day that the Lord has given us. I want to share with you this morning a miracle that Jesus performed. That's one of the rare miracles that it is mentioned not only in the three synoptic gospels but all four gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I want to share this miracle with you because we are now in need of miracles in our lives. And our Lord Jesus Christ has performed so many of them. And I pray that He will continue to perform miracle in our lives. This story, this miracle, is a miracle that happened because crowds were following Christ. Wherever He went, they were attracted to Him. They were following Him. And so they followed Christ, and as they followed Him, we read in the first record of the miracle. I want to start by Matthew chapter 14, is where the first record in the Gospel of Matthew, the first Gospel, is mentioned, beginning with verse 13. Matthew 14, beginning with verse 13, tells us that Jesus withdrew privately to a solitary place. But hearing of this, the crowds followed him. Wherever Jesus went, the crowds followed him. And says, as evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food." Jesus replied, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat. You give them something to eat." But they said, "We have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish," they answered. And Jesus told them to seed them. And the miracle happened. Now in Mark chapter 6, listen to the little variation that Mark gives there. He said, beginning, I'm going to read verse 32. "So they went away by themselves in a boat in a solitary place, but many who saw them leaving recognized them and ran on foot from all the towns and got there ahead of them. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, He had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So He began teaching them these things." He had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. As we look to this world today, I see a lot of people are like a sheep without a shepherd. They are a sheep without a shepherd. Now in the Gospel of Luke, it says the same thing, the same story and the miracle that happened. And it says that Jesus told them, "You give them something to eat." Probably all of you by now know the story, how Jesus fed these crowds that He loved and had compassion of them with 5 loaves and 2 fish. The one miracle that I want to read in more details, the same one, is from John chapter 6. In John chapter 6, it adds a very important fact that is not there in the other 3 relating of the story. John chapter 6, verse 8, after Jesus said, you give them something to eat, he said, it takes a year of wages to buy, and where would we buy it? So in verse 8, it says, another of His disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up. "Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish. But how far will they go among many?" So we are told here where these 5 loaves came from and the 2 fishes. They were with a young boy. This young boy could be anywhere between the ages of 13 to maybe 19. That was, why he was a young boy. So the question I want to ask you, have you thought about this? Who packed the food for this young boy? Do you think that young boy just heard the crowds roaring and so he wanted to join them and wanted to go see Jesus? And so what does he do? He go first, packs his own lunch and leaves? Know who packed his lunch? His mom. I believe the mom is the one that provided the 5 barley loaves and the 2 fishes by which Christ performed this wonderful miracle. We are thinking of our moms. I'm so thankful for my mom. She always provided. Just like this mom gave him 5 loaves of barley. Loaves made of barley. This is the poor. The only poor could afford that because they couldn't afford the wheat. Usually the loaves of wheat are with people that can afford it because they are more expensive. But even in the poverty, this mom provided the loaves and the 2 fishes for her son. And Jesus turned those to feed thousands of people. I want to pray at this time that you recognize how wonderful our moms are. What a blessing they are in our lives. I remember my mom and how she provided for us even in the times of poverty. When there was nothing to eat, my mom made something that was delicious. We loved it. She would take a pita bread, sprinkle some sugar on it, and just a little bit of water, and wrap it as a sandwich. It was the best sandwich I had. Moms love us. Moms have compassion on us. And moms provide for us, even in the time of poverty. May our moms continue to be part of your lives. I'm thankful that she is part of my life. And even if they are not with us now, I'm thankful for their memories, and we look forward to seeing them. May God bless you and bless our moms that are in our lives now and always.